John. Live from Long Island, New York. It's Love, Death, and Taxes. And today we're going to be talking about preparing for the inevitable. The types of funerals that you have, or types of way to say goodbye to your loved ones. Hi, Agnes. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Wait. Did I introduce you all to my lovely co-host, the author, owner of New York Tax Resolutions and Bookkeeping, the 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 subject of the book Seven Rings One Love, uh, which you can get at Barnes and Noble, Amazon, all these other places. That's her over there, right there. It's
And
Agnes Amisano.
author
I
of
don't
some
know
lyrics,
that. That's
author
right.
of some lyrics to some songs. Don't
Oh,
forget
that's
that.
right. That's right. Now you're in. You want this? Is my artist. This is my artist.
And surprise, surprise. Another one
Oh,
is in.
oh, the actual art book.
Another
Yes,
one is
that's
in.
right.
Yes.
Agnes art. Agnes Amisano.
Yes.
Very nice. You need to send that all to me. I'm going to put that on the website. Ladies and G's, if you want to find all of her information, you can go to agnesamisano.com. All the things that she's got on there are wonderful. But now that we've done the commercial, Agnes, talk to me about why we are discussing this because you've recently started along a path that is a little bit different. There was a phrase that you use, but you don't particularly like. But I said it to someone else, and they
Mm-hmm.
were like, "Oh, I know exactly what that was," and they were very positive about it. Someone from Canada, as a matter of fact. I said to them, "Do you know what a death doula is?" And the person was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know a friend who does that, who helps people move on to the next stage and helps other people who are around them to get over it." And I was like, "What? So this is a thing?" Tell us about your. What do you prefer to call it? Not death doula. What do you like to call it?
End of life specialist. End
Okay,
of life
okay,
specialist.
okay.
Personally, word doula, which is a woman helper in a transition, is usually used for doula when it comes to birth because you're
Yes,
coming from transition into this world, and dev doula is to help you transition from this world.
right.
And I never really thought about it a lot until I spent what's going to be over 3 years right now, participating in a bereavement group. I'm a facilitator in a bereavement group, and I'm helping people to find new life built around their grief because grief never really goes away. So you just building the new normal or around it, um, your feelings, and becomes different life. But I also noticed how much pain and hurt and how many times people are trying to say goodbye to a person, certain way, and it's a hassle. It's a lot of work to do it proper way. Not everyone it's like me. Since I'm 25 years old, I had my will, my instructions, my funeral instructions, and everything in place,
Okay.
just to avoid my loved ones that I'm gonna leave behind to go through all that heartache and thinking,
Right.
am I going to do this right or not? Like my mother, before she passed, she asked me to take care of her funeral. I was in charge of that. She said, I know you're gonna do this right. So I did whatever I thought would be the best for her, what she would like. And I think she would have been pleased. So there was no question, there was no arguments in the family, who's going to do what. I was in charge of it, my family knew about it, so they were okay. That was our mother's wishes. So we go, but not everyone is in that situation, especially in a someone gets sick suddenly, so family want to be for them, spend time with them instead going through all those, arrangements, and even how to help the person that is passing or it's going through hard time,
Right.
or people like me who are preparing, um, they want to be prepared for that moment, but they could use somebody's help to either do end of life project, to leave something for the family, make arrangements. There are different things. Everyone desires different things. Just like planning a wedding, every bride would want something different. The same
Yes.
thing, every person would want to leave this place in certain manner. So if you will let me, and you want to be prepared, we can talk about it and give people some ideas of what they can do. We were talking during our last show. We were talking about importance of forms,
Yes.
documentation that is very important to leave behind to avoid issues, to avoid arguments in a family, to avoid any legal issues. And when you're living in a state, depending what, like in New York, depending what county we're dealing with, there's different time period that everything is being processed. In Long Island, it'll go faster. In a city, it can take up to 2 years, even longer, depending what county. So it's, Queens County, a year, easy, easy. Brooklyn, even longer. So it it's not that it's not that easy as one would have think. Okay, yeah, I'm leaving this to this one, this to that one. Well, there are ways to go around it to actually leave that to a person upon your demise, instead leaving everything even in a will and go through estate and still go probates. That is lengthy process, and not everyone is financially sound or stable. There are certain family situations where the money are needed right away, even to cover funeral arrangements. Not everyone has life insurance, and that's a problem. That's a problem. It's problematic waiting for the see. You cannot just go to the bank account to the bank with their certificates that pay me out. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
That automatically becomes a part of a state and then has to go through probate. So
Right.
we can avoid certain situations. But today we're going to talk about different ways of burial methods. You know,
Okay.
right now, for anybody who is, environmental issues are very important. I There was actually, I never knew about that one. There is such a thing as being kinder to Mother Nature and have biodegradable woven willow caskets
Yeah.
that decompose into the ground.
Yes.
So, like in a basket, that literally looks like a long basket.
Yeah. I was okay. You don't know this about me, but I was like 16, 17 when I figured out that we were poisoning the planet to at a remarkable scale. I think it's one of those things like I put in the back of my head and don't think about anymore. But sometimes when I walk along, say, the streets of New York City, like in the evening, and you see outside when the one single McDonald's puts out all the trash that they have created for the day, you think to yourself, oh my God, there are 1,500 of these in the city alone. And look how much trash they're putting out. Much more everybody else. You know what I mean? So I used to be this big, like, environmental person. And one of the things that I found out about, and I told my ex-wife, well, I probably have to figure out where to where to deal with that. But one of the things I wanted her to do was wrap me in like rice paper because apparently back And that's what it was. Like it was biodegradable, so it wouldn't be plastic or whatever. A woven thing out that also is good, but that's like wood.
Yes.
Did you know that in New Orleans, in some of the cemeteries there, they put people in, and because it is so hot, the type of tombs that they have them in, some of them aren't even underground, some of them are above ground. They put them in, and because it's so hot, like after a certain amount of time of year, they just go in there and scoop out whatever is left, not a lot, and then put another person, they bury another person in there. I was When I heard about that, I was like, wow, I had no idea. So, yeah, I've always thought that those stone or cement or what, like digging a hole to put cement in the ground, I always thought, what a waste. Why wouldn't you take your body and put it in the ground and then plant like a big mango tree on top of it, right? So I always thought, but they're like, oh, that's nasty. That's what people
Um,
always
yeah,
say.
they do that. They do that
Yes,
as well.
they allow that.
That's another thing that you can become part part of environment, part
Yeah,
of Mother Earth. That they will
yes,
that they can bury your bury you in a ground, and or even your ashes, and then plant a tree on the top of you. I would not advise to do a fruit tree, because that automatically, I don't think to what degree, yeah, my grandma was delicious.
yeah.
Uh, I
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something. There is a huge funeral, um, funeral ground cemetery in Jamaica, in Kingston, called the Dovecot Cemetery. And many people are buried there because they cannot afford to go anywhere else. And as you may or may not know, we eat mangoes. There are fruit trees everywhere, all across Jamaica. They end up everywhere because people eat mangoes and drop the seeds in different places. And the last time I was there, I was like 17, maybe eight. Again, maybe this is part of the reason why I was thinking like that. There was a giant mango tree there, and it was producing mangoes like this big. And I don't think it was there on purpose. Like it was on the side of the cemetery. Like it wasn't, but it was grown, and
there was a reason
it's doing.
why the fruit was so big. There was a
Yeah, it was
very
doing
big
so
fertilizer.
well
Yeah,
because it was it had great compost, I assume,
very good
and
fertilizer. Yes.
delicious. But yeah, I
Mhm.
guess
Yeah.
yeah, that's not.
Um. And okay, now I'm not going to be able to eat mangoes for a bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
having
Another
mangoes.
one, it would just in Tibet, very popular. Reach for the sky.
Reach for the
Bodies
sky.
are left on the mountains to be consumed by vultures. A practice rooted in Buddhist beliefs of impermanence, or
Yeah,
hanging coffins in China and Philippines. Um, Coconut placed on a cliff faces, believed to bring a deceased closer to heaven, or water burial, used in various cultures as a method of returning the body into nature. By returning body into nature, I think will be so much better just to put them in the ground somewhere and, plant a tree. I think that will be a little bit healthier than putting them in the water. Then again, the same thing like with the mango trees.
right.
Um, there is another one very interesting way,
Uh-huh.
which I don't think that I would want that done to me. It's in South Korea. due
Okay.
to a law in South Korea dictating that buried bodies must be removed after 60 years,
Huh.
cremation is much more common. An alternative is scattering the ashes or using urns. Um, yeah, or they just display them at home.
Yeah. Display them. Oh, in an urn.
The urns.
Okay. I was like, what are you doing?
I know someone who keeps the ashes of a father in a closet in a shoebox.
Okay.
Um, that's one
It's
way.
keeping them close to you. Keeping them close to you. That's right.
Yeah, well, I think that's I understand being close to your parents, but come on. Um, I would not want anyone to display me on the mental. Uh, I think I saw too many movies that the ashes being dropped to the floor and a cat uses as a litter box. Um, I just no, that just doesn't go with me. In Philippines, apparently, rock climbing is very popular, and it's a tourist
Rock climbing.
attraction. Yes, coffins are placed on stilts high up cliffs. Is to believe that the body is resting easier, being closer to heaven.
Oh, okay.
That's one of
That's
the
interesting.
beliefs.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know if I'd be okay with that. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, in Madagascar. There's another
Hmm.
thing: turning of the bones. Families exhume relatives, wrap them in fresh cloth, and dance with them. How about the last dance?
Yeah, not for me. These are very interesting. And culturally, I guess everybody's going to do their own thing. I mean, in Jamaica, we have a thing called 9 nights, and literally the body is brought into the house for 9 nights, and people come over. Actually, nowadays, now it's not no longer that long. Nowadays, people come over for one night, and it's basically a big party. But it used to be that they'd bring the body, put it, and you could view it overnight, and then it would go back to the funeral home for 9 nights, and that's what they call it, 9 night. And everybody would come from wherever they're coming from, and throughout the night, you sit with the family and you share stories about the person. Different people come different nights, and we eat and we drink and we listen to music and tell stories and sing songs, like sing. There's one song that stays with me like forever, because there was a group of guys who came and they were just like all just complaining that they were like, oh my gosh, I feel tired. And all of a sudden they started singing this song. All night we there, we not get no coffee. All night, and that, like, at my grandfather's funeral, I was like, all you had to do was ask for it instead. But they had drums, and they played these little sitar or whatever, like, the guitars, and boom, 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 and one guy sang, and like it's a heavy nasal song that like carried. It was great. But then all of a sudden they were like, "What's going on, man? We're not getting fed." But you give them rum, and you give them curried goat and goat soup, and what for 9 nights you have people come over.
So
Like
of course they're
it's
gonna sing if you give them ram. So what do you expect? They're gonna sing. They want more. Yeah.
what else? Who else?
Okay. I want to mention. I have many ways of in different part of the world, but um, what is in United States, what's becoming environmentally sound, and actually, it's not that bad idea. Um, Turning ashes into a diamond.
I heard about that.
Yes.
Yeah, now I'm gonna wear you.
Yes, that's gonna be like
Yeah.
You look lovely, my darling. Yeah. Uh,
on the finger.
uh, they can do that also with human hair nowadays, not only with
Yeah.
ashes,
Oof.
which is very popular.
Is that
Um,
what we want? Is that what we really want? Are these the things that we want to turn our loved ones into diamonds and other things? It's not just diamonds. Like there's a bunch of things that you can turn them into, turn their ashes into. I mean,
yes.
it's
Well,
unusual.
cremation is it's. I think it's smart idea. We're running out of space on this Mother Earth. Even in Europe, they start adopting that. Well, it is said in the Bible, ashes to ashes. So there's one thing. In Europe, they actually, they're really running out of spaces. They're really running out of spaces. So cremation becomes more and more popular. I like their culture and for religious reasons. Like in Judaism and Islamic funeral, they bury body between 24 hours. Uh, in a point, I understand it. I like it. You mentioned 9 nights in Europe. Before the funeral homes became popular, they held body for 3 days. But let's say like years before, when they didn't have such a good medicine, again,
Right.
centuries before, they kept the body for 3 days in case someone will wake up. So that's why it was 3 days. They gave them
Oh
three.
yes. Yeah.
Oh, it happened. It really happened. That
Yeah, no, I believe it. I'm sure that you get hit in the head and you don't realize the person's in a coma.
Yeah.
They're not actually dead. Yeah.
So again, I will never forget my grandfather's funeral. You know, there is, you remember as a child his coffin, right? And the next month you're going to spending time with grandma and you're sleeping in that room. So like, not really. I don't think I'm going to be sleeping like cover over my head, because you seeing that person laying there. That was traumatic.
Ah,
That
how
was
old were you?
traumatic. I don't know, 6, 7 years old.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was yes.
Yeah. When I
Um,
was when I was around 10, my roommate violently died. My roommate at boarding school, and he used to sleep on one bed in the room, and I used to sleep on the other bedroom. And I went to my grandfather's funeral, and when I came back, he had been killed. And I stayed for the funeral and whatever. But my mother was very concerned. She thought, oh my God, you're gonna go sleep back in the room where he was. And I was like, I'm not worried about that. And his mother came up and told my mother, oh, his name was Steve. Steve not going to bother him. Steve liked him. And I was like, oh, okay. So he is coming,
yeah,
but
he's coming. He's
he's
not going
not
to
going to
bother you
bother.
because he likes you. Because he likes
And I'm
you.
like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am actually intrigued by Viking funerals
that would
myself.
make sense. Yeah,
Uh, Really, ashes to ashes into the water and everything,
yeah.
very, very environmentally soundly.
You get a boat too.
Yes, but at the end, I have to mention, because that culture is part of my culture. Um, the Roma culture, the funerals,
Okay,
they are. You think that, to me, in New Orleans, they have those lavish celebrations of life. The funeral is celebration of life with the
right.
music and everything. Well, let me tell you, Rama funerals are something else. There is
Okay,
the hearse is pulled by 6 horses, the old-fashioned hearse, the music, they playing different kind of music. There's no
yeah,
dancing, but um, there were there were examples, some of the examples of that lavish funeral is that there the grave itself will be the size of a big room. They'll put furniture there, gold, uh, the smokes, whatever the person drink, the slippers, nice, the nicest clothes and everything.
No
Some of
wonder
them
they're running out of space.
they were buried with their best cars.
Building you a house with
Yes,
their car.
yes, yes. And when you're going to a cemetery, um, again, I was intrigued. I like the mausoleums, personal mausoleums. Do you know that in New York it is illegal because of lack of space, so no one can build one? I looked into that. I wanted to purchase one. I built one, small one, not a big house or anything. It's not,
I
you're not
mean,
allowed. You're not
not
allowed.
any new ones, but they exist. I
Oh,
mean,
they
old
exist,
ones.
but the new ones you cannot do it. It's you cannot do
Okay,
it anymore because
they're like
there's not
right
enough
on the
space.
space.
They cost
Can you do it
separate.
out here on Long Island?
No, New York State,
Not
you
even
cannot
here
do
on
it.
Earth.
No,
Okay.
no. I was disappointed, but I like that part, to do that. So just imagine having this like a mini house built. Sometimes the statues of a person who was buried, they're life-size statues sitting on the big chairs or whatever. And many occasions you can actually go inside because it looks like a pergola, and you can have dinner or celebrating life of the person on the top of the grave, because this is
I
part of
mean,
everything.
this
So
is, if you're going to honor someone, you really, really love them. I mean, you see statues of great men or great women all the time, right? So
yeah,
I guess I understand, but you're very, very right. If you did that for everybody, you're not going to have any space anymore. I assume there are several burial spaces with all these cars
there's
and
many,
chairs and
many,
best
many, many.
slippers. Yeah.
When you're walking at the cemetery, you know which culture is which. Like it's first of all, the grave is not just a headstone.
Mhm.
There's granite, usually granite or marble,
Tomb,
or
like a
structure.
slab.
The tomb, yes, the slab, and it's high, at least 3 to 4 feet high, and as long as the casket, so you don't walk on the top of the casket that is
They don't
buried.
want you to
It's
step on the
under,
person.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that takes a lot of space
Yeah. Yeah.
itself.
That makes
Or you
sense.
have, full family, for the families. You have for 6 people or 4 people space. So you can imagine how big that grave is, the
Right.
family grave. So it's beautiful thing. Like in Poland, every the first and the second, similarly to Mexico's tradition, is just that no one paints their faces, and it's not celebrating death. It's All Saints and
Yes.
all that. It's different. But it's a beautiful experience because people come from all over the world just to come and visit family graves,
Right.
and cherish their memory and celebrating the life of the loved ones. So there is many ways. Some of them are exotic, some of them are more traditional, some of them are environmental. There's there are laws that forbid us from doing exactly what we want.
Want to do. Yes. And thank God for those laws, or else we were doing all kinds of crazy things.
Absolutely, absolutely, I'm with you on that. Some ashes can be scattered. If you're scattering ashes in the water, there has to be certain distance from the shore. I forgot
Oh,
what it was it, but there is a certain legally, a mile, something, or 3 miles from the shore that the ashes can be scattered, um, for good reason. So they are historical, mummification, like I mentioned before, Viking burials. There are culturals. Um, like in Ireland, the wakes are usually at home as well with the music and celebration. Um, there are Hindu cremations, Islamic or Jewish funerals, the rapid ones. Um, there are certain unique rituals, like in Madagascar, South Korea, or Philippines. I I'm not gonna name the country where they buried people. You might say standing up. They just dig the hole deep enough for a person, and they just slide their body with their hands up, and just because of lack of space as well. I don't think
Yeah.
that will be allowed here.
No.
Yeah. In Judaism, practically, you should go just in a shroud, you know, not really in a casket, so environmental friendly as well. So there's many different ways that we can choose from, whatever
Yes.
is important to us, either for religious reasons or cultural reasons. Like someone who is a specialist of ending of life, they can advise you what's legal, what's doable. Um, the ashes can be spread between family members in little vials or whichever ways, or yeah, some,
So
some.
you have mom's leg and I've got her arms and someone else has her head. No. Can you see how
Part of
that's
it,
kind of
just part
silly?
of it, just tiny. So maybe
Not even
not
that
the
much.
whole hand.
Just a tooth. Is that what we're doing?
Look, it's important to some people. It's very
Yes, I do.
important.
I understand. And it's not that I'm making jest, but I
Yeah.
understand why they want to hold on to it. But at the same time, I think, isn't it part of the doula's job to also assist these people in moving away from the actual physical essence of the person and try to remember them as they, you know what I mean, as they were. Like you and I are making ourselves immortal right now by putting us up on here. Your grandchildren and your will be able to come look at this and say, "Oh,
Hi, Grandma,
this
what's
is
that?
what feels like." Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, but that's why like end of life projects are very important, because maybe some
Yeah.
people want to leave something to the family, uh,
Right.
some footprint that they existed, that they
Yes.
do, that they did something, and something more for them to, for the family to know, than just, okay, they were here,
Right.
they were playing role of a parent, of a grandparent, and now they're gone. There's
Yeah.
more to people than that. There's
Yeah.
more to any of us than just the role that we played in somebody else's life. um, it's it's not funny, but it's I can see how important it is, sometimes for children to remember that those parents had lives before they show up to this world, and who they were before they showed up, and their life suddenly became all about the children. And maybe they would have more understanding for parents who they were, if they would have known who they were before the kids,
Right.
who
Right.
they were as
Maybe.
people. Yes.
Maybe. But they definitely wouldn't take any advice from me.
At certain point, we apparently forget what's important, and we just don't know anything.
Yeah.
You're not at that stage yet. You're not at that stage yet.
You don't know nothing. No, no, no. Mine, every now and then, they just look at me like, who is this fool? But I'm waiting. I know it's the other flip is coming. Like the other one who's much older, I know that flip is coming, and it's very interesting because everything. There were times that one used to come to me and say, "How did you know that was going to happen?" And the truth is, most of the time I didn't know, but I made an educated guess, and of course it made sense because I've had more of experience in life than she had. I'm double her age, right?
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting thing where, yeah, they eventually they come around. Agnes, we'll talk about that too. But yeah,
Life will show.
this
Yeah,
is a great way to segue, I guess, into the next segment. So you figured out like all these different things. I didn't realize that there were so many different ways. Well, I guess that makes sense, right? There's so many different cultures, so there are going to be many, many different ways of the way people are going to say goodbye to their loved ones. But this is specifically about how you actually want the thing done and the traditions around that. But I would like to get more into what do you do as far as helping the people who you leave behind as a death doula. Can we do that next week? Can we talk about that
absolutely,
next week?
absolutely.
Excellent. 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 So that's great. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this show, you like to listen to us, you enjoyed this. Hey, maybe you're from Florida, maybe you're from Japan, maybe you're from Venezuela, maybe you're from Canada, and you came across this show, and there's two very unusual immigrants are here in the United States. There's Jamaican over here and Polish Canadian. Yeah, you could technically be Polish Canadian. Do you still have, your stuff from?
I
No,
don't.
no, yeah, we don't want to cause any problems for you
I
anyway.
don't.
So
It's been too
you,
long.
even if you did, you should say no.
No,
So
no, no, seriously, it's been too long. So
no, they have a
let's not do
problem
it
with
that
dual
way.
citizenship. So there's the whole thing. But if you enjoy this, I mean, you definitely want to check out the book, Seven Rings, One Love by Agnes Amisano. And that's where you can find it, agnesamisano.com. Long Island, coming to a Barnes and Noble near you. There will be a book signing for that book. So you got to read it first and enjoy it so you can get it there. You can get it here over at Agnes Amisano Publications. But honestly, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, uh, you can go pick it up for any one of those places. So next week we'll also be talking about preparing for the inevitable and passing on, but we'll probably do it more about the who is living. Agnes, you have anything else you'd like to say before we go? Oh,
Well, my sister today, when I spoke to her, she said, "Well, you could say something in Polish, so I will understand." So, Zosiu, to dla ciebie wszystkiego dobrego, skarbie dobrej nocy.
yeah. Yes, what she said. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Love, Death, and Taxes. I'm Randy Williams, your co-host, and lovely Agnes Amisano with me as well. I hope to see you guys next week. Enjoy.
Good night.
Bye bye.